Hi guys, I am Dr. Megan, sport and performance psychologist, and with all of this stuff going on, all of the changes that seem to be happening like literally every 15 minutes, I wanted to do a video specifically for you athletes out there, just to give you some pointers or some thoughts on just kind of managing a lot of these unknowns that are happening right now, not only in the greater world, but also with a lot of your seasons and trainings and stuff like that. So just wanted to put a couple thoughts out there just to help you guys kind of manage in this situation and be a little bit more athlete focused. So the first of these tips is ultimately feel it. If a season was canceled, if a championship opportunity was lost, like there is no, that stinks, that sucks. And it is okay to feel that. I would very much encourage you to feel that. If you're sad, be sad. If you're angry, be angry. If you're a little bit of both and it kind of goes back and forth, like feel it, lean into it. You know, going through our emotions, although it's uncomfortable in the moment, it ultimately helps us process those situations more successfully versus just like shoving it in a closet and ignoring it completely. And so feel it, allow yourself to feel it, reach out for support, whether it's other teammates or friends or your parents or coaches, like you have a community around you, use them. And so feel it, and although it's uncomfortable to go through and to, you know, kind of process all that information, it's really, really helpful in helping you kind of get through this situation in a successful way. And so allow yourself to feel whatever those emotions may be at right now, and reach out to those people in your circle and in your world and your tribe to help you do that. The second piece is really identifying and focusing on the process of your sport, the process or the things that you enjoy about engaging in your sport, training, working out, whatever that might be. And so I'm sure many coaches at points in times have said things like, oh, it's all about the process, focus on the process. And you know, they're not wrong, but what we don't identify is like what exactly is the process. And so the process is literally just steps and actions that you take on your way to achieving a certain goal or doing a certain thing. So you think about your process before you show up at practice. Do you listen to a certain playlist, have a certain snack, ride over with practice to someone and jam out in your cars or whatever that looks like? Does your team have kind of a pre-practice ritual or routine that you guys do in the locker room? Are there certain snack foods or things that like nutritionally you're really invested in, or different types of like sleep extension, paying attention to that kind of stuff? Like, what about that? And how about during your workouts and trainings? Are there certain drills? Are there certain parts of those workouts or elements that you really enjoy? And then afterwards, you know, after those practices are over, what are some of those things? Could be another snack, could be playlists, could be a certain stretch or cheer that you guys do. And so you might be saying, all right, Dr. Megan, like, why are you telling me to identify and focus on this process when we like kind of can't do that right now? So the reason is, if you're aware of what these pieces of the process are that you enjoy, well, there are totally some of those things that you can still engage in now. Yeah, it might look different. You might not be able to do a whole group team stretch, but you guys can connect over FaceTime to do that. If you're going to do your own workout at home, well, you can still listen to that playlist or have that snack or do that warm up or do those things that are part of your process. Yeah, it's gonna look different location, different, you know, environment of doing that, and maybe connecting virtually versus, you know, having that teammate next to you and stretching and warming up in that capacity. But if you're identifying things that are part of your process that you enjoy, you can start doing some of those things now. But then also jump back or jump into the future when things are back to normal and practice is up and running again. Well, now you've identified those things, and as you go through the more hectic training world, well, now you can more intentionally engage in those parts of the process to help keep you motivated, to help keep it fun. And so lean into the process, identify what those things are, and look for those opportunities to do some of that stuff now, although it looks a little different. Number 3, view this as an opportunity. As a student athlete, your schedule is typically so structured and defined, and it's like go to one thing to the next and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, now things are a lot less structured, and so there is an opportunity of time here. So that opportunity may be for you getting to go out on some solo runs that you typically don't because you're always running with a team, or maybe it's an opportunity to develop some core strength since you don't always have opportunity to do that with your typical training regimen. Or maybe it's opportunity for you to lean in and get some extra practice on certain things that you wanted to strengthen. This is also a great opportunity to hang out with friends virtually social distancing, but still we can have those engagements. Maybe if you're at home with family, this is an opportunity for you to reconnect with some family members and build new family traditions and things. This could be an opportunity for you academically or researching different things, or if there's a stuff that has been like on the list that you've been meaning to do for a while, here's an opportunity for you to do that. We've been gifted in this kind of wild situation the opportunity of time. And so utilize, find, maybe even set a goal for yourself of something that you would like to accomplish during this time. And so lean into that opportunity of time, identify it, see it, and how do you want to use it? It's very rare that we get stuff like this. And so really view that, reframe as an opportunity. The next piece is, so often in stressful situations, not just this one, but in general, we typically have a very narrow focus. We're aware of how it impacts us or influences us. And then when we kind of put it on the wider lens frame, it can help us put things in the stuff that we're sacrificing and going through in perspective. Kind of globally, we're all putting the team on our back in some way, shape, or form. It's kind of influencing and impacting a lot of people's schedules in different ways, some definitely more than others. However, giving yourself that opportunity to just take that step back, engage in that wide lens focus rather than the narrow focus, can just help put some of the sacrifices that you're making into perspective, and seeing how, hey man, we're like all in this together, we're all trying to figure it out. Everybody's putting the team on their back and sacrificing different things. This is what I had to do in my world, but we're really all in this together. And so challenge yourself to really take that step back and engage in that wide lens perspective. The last one is binge Netflix, not the information. And so right now, really there's a constant flow of evolving information. And so it is really important to be informed, but you don't need to overdo it. And so whether that means kind of chunking different times of the day of, hey, I check the news here, here, and here, but then disengage, like whatever that is, binge Netflix, not the information. The more that you kind of engage in just sucking up that information, it can result and be a lot more stressful. So be informed, but kind of set a limit for yourself of how much engagement that you are doing with that, so that, again, you're informed, but you're not over-informed and ultimately stressing yourself out in an increased manner, which you may not need to do. And finally, although this is not like an official athletic point here, reach out. Whether it is to, if you are struggling right now, or this is really stressful, or some of the things that you've had to sacrifice are just like, you're just having a hard time, it's okay. A lot of people out there are having hard times. We all kind of are going through this in our own way. And so reach out. I want to promote your local sports psychologist. I know from my end, and a lot of the colleagues I have, we are meeting with our athletes virtually. And so reach out if you need it, whether that is a sports psychologist in your area or maybe a clinical or counseling psychologist. The resources are there. We are available and ready to help you. Right now, this is an interesting time, but it's an opportunity for us to learn, to use our time. And if reaching out to someone during this period is something that's going to be helpful for you, do it. And so I hope these are some helpful thoughts on this process and kind of journey we're all on together on unlocking our MVP mindset so that in the future we're able to have those MVP performances. Hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I'm looking forward to checking back in soon.